Dear friends, I would like to take you to magazine journalism. As you're all aware, the magazines across the world are going through a serious crisis. And I would like to present before you the challenges of manning a magazine with my own personal experience. After having completed my post graduation in journalism in Calicut University campus, after my ordination as a priest, the first responsibility that was given to me was to be the editor of a magazine in Malayalam. Manning a magazine is a Herculean task. As we are all aware, several magazines had to be closed down. In 1993, for example, one of the most circulated magazines in India, the Illustrated Weekly of India, a weekly, had to be closed down. Though the magazine was under the supervision, the editor, the chief editor of this Illustrated Weekly of India was under the care of one of the most prolific writers in India, Khushwant Singh, a journalist, a novelist, a short story writer. He was the editor of this magazine, but in 1993, this magazine ceased to exist. So too was with the case of another English magazine in India, Sunday. We cannot even know where this magazine is available. Even in the internet, no information about this magazine is available. Though this was one of the most circulated magazines in 1980s, late 1980s and early 1990s. In the world, the two leading news magazines in the world are one, the Time magazine, and the other, Newsweek. In 2012, the print edition of Newsweek had to be stopped. And it took almost 2 years to relaunch the Newsweek in 2014. If you go also into the other popular magazines in India, once upon a time, taking the case of Kerala, for example, the most read Malayalam magazine was India Today Malayalam. Stopped. India Today was available in Tamil. India Today was available in Telugu. India Today was available in Kannada. All these magazines had to stop their publication. Currently, only English and Hindi print editions of India Today are available. And if you go in more into the circulation of all the magazines available in India, irrespective of the language, English or Hindi or Malayalam, the circulation is dwindling. Why did this particular phenomenon take place? When television had not become a popular source of information for people, when we were dependent only on Doordarshan, when we did not have 24-hour news channels, the primary source of information for people was the newspaper. But with the arrival, with the onslaught of 24-hour news channels, there is hardly any scope for a newspaper, because everything that is happening around the world is disseminated to the people, to the viewers, through the fastest medium, television. And therefore, the newspapers had to bring about a paradigm shift in the content that was fed for the readers. The role played by the magazines till the arrival of 24-hour news channels was usurped, was taken over by the newspapers. Earlier, the FIR, the first information report of an event, of an issue, of a phenomenon, the FIR was presented through the newspaper before popularization of television. And the postmortem, detailed report, the most authoritative report, was done. The postmortem report of an event, of an issue, of a phenomenon was carried out very effectively by the magazines or the weeklies. That role was taken over by the newspapers with the arrival of 24-hour news channels. An interpretative, analytical postmortem of whatever is reported, given as FIR through 24-hour news channels, will be presented to the newspaper readers with in-depth information, giving not only the 5 W's of everything, 5 W's and 1 H, but also of so what and what next, analysis, postmortem. If the newspapers have taken over the role of the magazines, how can the magazines survive? Magazines cannot repeat whatever was covered by the television channels and the newspapers. The follow-up stories of everything that was reported, covered by the 24-hour news channels, is covered, integrated into the newspaper content. And therefore, the magazines did not have scope. It was in this context that some of the major magazines that did not rise to the occasion, that did not keep abreast of the times, that did not read the writing on the wall, had a natural death. It was at this historic point of time, at this juncture, that I was told to take over a magazine. And you can imagine the tension, the uncertainty, the apprehensions that an editor will have taking over a magazine when in general people are not interested in reading. I also had a serious problem with the editorial policy of this magazine. Before I took over this magazine, the magazine had only Salesian, Don Bosco, Christian, Catholic content. And there are several magazines with the Catholic content, Christian content. And therefore, Don Bosco magazine had become a replica of several other magazines available in the market. The other magazines, general interest magazines, were brought out either with political ideology or with some business interest. And therefore, I was totally confused. How can the magazine that is entrusted to me, that is the challenge of an editor. The survival of a magazine depends on the vision of the editor. And I am telling you about the struggle that I had, the mental trauma that I had experienced when I am told to take up a magazine. And therefore, I decided to go for a critical analysis of all the general interest magazines available in the market, and also an assessment of all the religious magazines available to the readers. And how can the magazine that is entrusted to me find a unique place, can identify a space, a unique space. And I realize that there is a need for a magazine that can inspire people. There is a wide scope for a publication that does not have the barrier of religion, that does not have the problem, the constraints of a political ideology, a barrier of business interest. And therefore, I identified a USP for the magazine that was entrusted to me, an inspirational source. It is with this background that I am talking to you how I have converted, made a paradigm shift in the editorial content, taking into consideration the requirements of the target audience. Because if you want to make a publication a successful venture, the reader should be the king. And therefore, what should be the perception of an editor, a person who is manning the magazine? The editor of a magazine, first and foremost, is a creator. The editor of a magazine is a policy maker. Editor of a magazine is a representative reader. Editor of a magazine is a creative director. The editor of a magazine is a conductor. The editor of a magazine is a manager. So, the editor plays a multiple role. Magazine editor is a creator. Why am I using the term creator? Every issue of a magazine is a creation. Something new, something fresh. Because this magazine is competing with several other magazines in the market. And therefore, you need to come out with fresh content. All the points that I had driven home are interconnected. As I said, the reader is the king. The editor should know the pulse of the target audience. The editor should know the demographics, the psychographics of the readers? What is their educational background of people who depend on this magazine? What about the gender? Are women more dependent? Are men depending on this particular magazine? Are you also targeting the children? How about youth? What about the affiliation of the readers to the ideologies? What is their attitude? What is their perception of the world? What's their educational background? What's their economic background? What are the problems that they are battling with now? Only if you become a mouthpiece of the readers. If you are only able to, if the editor is able to understand what the readers need now, ensuring that whatever is fed by the other sources, other magazines, is not what I am going to feed you. This is something that you are longing for. And I am going to create this. It requires insight. It requires resourcefulness. It demands that the editor is a voracious reader. It demands that the editor is in touch with the dark realities outside.